Racing. If you're lucky enough to experience the thrill of it, it will get in your blood and consume you. There is no feeling in the world like hanging onto a speeding collection of steel frame, rubber, and mechanical genius at the absolute limit and battling it out on track with other determined competitors. What makes a driver? What is the common thread that runs through this field of risk-takers who believe they can reach the top? I'm Cadence Presley, a 12-year-old racing driver with a dream of winning the Indy 500. I'm here to crack the code by talking with dreamers like myself who are driven to chase the impossible dream. To be the best. This time on Head to Head, I catch up with Colorado karting legend, Brody Shucard. Brody started racing at 7 years old and got his first win with a weekend sweep in the Scusa Mountain Series. Following that, he went on to win 2 Rotex Junior Championships, moving on to senior at 15 years old, and then winning the Rock the Rockies 100cc Championship, scoring his second trip over to Rock Vegas, finishing in the top 10. Brody's looking forward to racing next season in a KZ shifter and is currently building his driver coaching brand, P1 Driver Development. As a side note, we had some technical difficulties with the head-to-head challenge this episode, and the files were lost. Enjoy the interview.
All right, everyone, this is my great friend, Brody Shucard. All right, everyone, this is my great friend, Brody Shucard. He's been a really good buddy in the Colorado Karting Tour, as well as Rock the Rockies, ever since I started. And he's just been a great tuner and coach to me. So welcome to the show, Brody.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you having me. It's been a fun couple weeks trying to communicate, trying to get everything set up.
Of course. So tell me about your beginning years of racing and how you got inspired to start racing.
So I started racing when I was 7 years old. My dad and I went to action karting one day when my mom was out of town visiting a friend. We ended up renting the go-kart just like anybody else. And then we ended up buying a kart, I think later that week or something like that. And then from then on, we started racing the Colorado Junior Karting Club, which is now CKT, Colorado Karting Tour, and then moved to the Race the Rockies series out at Centennial, where I've been racing Rotax and pretty much two-stroke from there on out.
When was that?
2010 to like up until they closed, pretty much.
Oh, so a while ago.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about the ways that karting has impacted your life.
Honestly, karting has taught me a lot of things. The biggest thing is, no matter how things go on and off the track, you always got to remain have some sort of sportsmanship, because at the end of the day, we're all trying to have fun competing for a 30-cent trophy, and we're trying to make friends. But other than that, it's taught me a lot through adversity.
30-cent trophy. It's
not wrong.
No,
at least the local stuff. The national stuff is.
Yeah, those are. It's getting up in the prices in the national stuff.
Exactly.
Let's talk about flow state, when you're just in the zone and everything is going right. Do you have a trick or maybe some advice on how to get into that state?
Personally, at the beginning of the races, I like to put my visor down, and I guess not at the beginning, but like right when we go on grid, I like to keep my visor down and just take 10 deep breaths to get myself into that state. And then from there on out, if I make mistakes on and off the track, on the track, I like to kind of rewind a little bit, kind of not push as hard, and try to take some deep breaths to calm myself down again to make sure I stay in that state.
2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Exactly.
You got to realize that you can't make that mistake again.
Yep.
So,
exactly.
I completely understand. That's really good advice. Listen to him, all right? That is great advice. I know I've seen some crazy things at the racetrack in my day. I can imagine you have too. Tell me your craziest or favorite story from the track.
Oh man, there's a lot. I would say the craziest thing I've seen is probably when I was a corner worker, 2018, 2017, something like that. It was an SBR race when Donnie was the race director for CKT. when the dog ran onto the track in the middle of the Junior 1 race or Junior 2 race.
Oh, I remember that.
That was probably the craziest thing I've ever seen because nobody knew whether to throw the red flag or not to, and I ended up just ultimately making the decision to throw the red flag and stop the race.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I would say the coolest thing I've seen would be something I did at Rock Vegas 2019. 2019 or 2020.
Yeah, 2019.
I ended up making a pass on a guy from probably 3-4 kart lengths back. It was when I was racing 100cc, and the VLR was a little bit slower than the KA at the time. I'm not sure now because I haven't raced him. But at the time, I ended up sending it from pretty far back on a guy, sticking the pass, and then made another pass on a guy that following corner, which was probably the coolest thing I've seen.
Yeah, I made a similar pass on another kid. I just kind of stuck it on the inside, and I started to go to the outside to get to the wall, and I was like, well, you better back out.
Right.
And then eventually I heard, goosh! and then my cart went, boing, and it bounced, and I was like, oh, snap! So I just kept going. I was like, well, you learned that lesson.
Yeah, gotta learn the hard way sometimes.
That was a lot of fun. Talk about being a coach and a mechanic. Has this been fulfilling to you, and do you think it's even made you a better driver?
I think so. Coaching, it definitely has been a pretty big of a challenge for me, at least because I had to step away from racing for a little bit, like the last year and the year before. I didn't really do too much racing. Well, let me take that back. This past season, I didn't race. The season before, I raced all of 206 Light. But it was kind of hard not racing, but it was also fun seeing my drivers, do well, learn, and obviously see them ask questions throughout the entire season and get better. The mechanic side of things is a little bit harder, just because myself personally, I'm not the most mechanically inclined, but I've learned from a lot of my peers, like how things work, why they work that way, and how to do them.
It's go visit this. Tell them about it.
So I coach with obviously P1 Driver Development. That's my company. Mostly we do just coaching, driver development, obviously, with GoPros, track walks, just the basic coaching that you see from a lot of people. I don't really have a website, but I do have an Instagram at P1 Driver Development. And I get the drivers exploitation as well. So a lot of my newer drivers, there's a kid that I'm coaching right now, his name's Tyson, or like the Lewises, Joel and Brody Lewis. I've been posting them a lot, trying to get them exploitation so, they can get sponsors, because in karting world, it's not the easiest thing getting sponsors. You and I both know that it's not the easiest thing in the world.
Very difficult.
But I feel like it's helped them get some exploitation as well.
Do you have any plans to do any racing yourself next year, or are you just focused on doing coaching and tuning?
So next season, I'm going to do a little bit of both. In the local stuff, I'm going to focus on running the open shifter category because I bought a shifter.
Whoa, that was...
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I bought
That's awesome.
a 2022 Burrell Art with a TMKZ R1 on there. So pretty much the same thing Philip's been running. And then actually, as of last night, my sponsor, Skeptic, these guys right here, they are hooking me up with a ride to go run nationally. I think we're thinking in the 100cc stuff, SCUSA, USBKS. But yeah, that's the goal. And then on the side of the local stuff and hopefully some of the national stuff, I'm going to do some coaching as well.
Dude, nice.
Yeah, man.
What's up? That is awesome.
I'm excited. I'm really excited.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years, even 10 years?
I would say 5 years because I'm in college. Hopefully still in the karting community. Maybe I'll move up to cars. But college is going to be the number one priority, kind of developing my life a little bit. But I am trying to see where I can go with the karting stuff, with either as coaching or racing, who knows. 10 years, I would say the same thing. I really want to develop my company, the P1 Driver Development, and make it more so a national thing. I've been contacted by a couple people out of state trying to get me to do some coaching out there as well, so we're already moving in the right direction, but I definitely want to make it a big thing.
All right, guys, now it's time for the rapid fire question round. Favorite word?
Spontaneous.
Driver you'd most like to be, past or present?
Ayrton Senna.
Unlimited budget, what's the first car you would buy?
Ooh, that's a good one. Probably a LaFerrari.
Oh, okay. What job would you completely suck at?
Retail.
Do you play any instruments?
I don't.
Cats, dogs, both or none?
Dogs, 100%.
Oh, come on. Come on, I'm a cat person. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Any hidden talents?
No, not really.
Who was the first Formula One world champion?
No clue, honestly. I genuinely have no clue.
No clue? No. The answer is Giuseppe Farina, 1950. Yeah, that was a while ago. That's when Formula One started.
Yeah, my dad wasn't even born then, so that's...
Yeah. Take a moment to tell everyone how to find you, your socials, and anything else you'd like to say. Right there.
So you can find me with the P1 driver development stuff, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at P1 driver development. If you want to get any contact, it's going to be p1driverdevelopment@gmail.com. And then if you want to just contact myself, any of the Brody Shucard pages, you can find me Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at Brody Shucard.
There you go.
Thanks everybody for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this interview with Brody. Make sure you tune in the first Sunday of each month for a brand new episode of Head to Head. Next up is Wyatt Brkachik, a USF Pro driver and now an Asian Le Mans Series driver. See you next time.